President Bush will speak at the American Legion Convention in Salt Lake City tomorrow, but the city's mayor isn't impressed. In fact, he's preparing for the president's visit with an anti-war protest later today.
Joining us from his office in Salt Lake City, Utah, is Mayor Rocky Anderson. Mr. Mayor, thank you for being with us. So I understand your phone's kind of ringing off the hook, and boy, we're getting a lot of emails because we said you're going to be on. They say, you know, as the mayor of a city, it's kind of like someone being invited into your home. You're supposed to be there and welcome whomever it is.
We're very pleased, of course, to have President Bush here, along with Condoleezza Rice and Donald Rumsfeld. But we think it is extremely important that we raise our voices, that we express our opposition to what we see going on in this country. It's a moral imperative, I think, for anybody, especially those in any positions of leadership, to express our dismay, our opposition with the disastrous course that this president has taken our country.
But I guess a lot of people, while they understand, you know, the need for people to express themselves, they also believe that elected officials have a certain sense of decorum, a different level that they hold themselves to of public conduct. And some folks say this is just unseemly.
Well, you know, you can talk about being polite. I'm a very polite person. I'm courteous. But I also think there are things that are so absolutely important to express right now out of deep, deep concern for our country and the values of our country. This president does not reflect the values underlying the foundation of our country, our Constitution. A president who makes excuses for torturing other human beings, for violating our Constitution.
Hold on. Let me just stop you right there. Because, you know, we have to challenge something that you say like that. At what point did the president condone torturing people?
Well, he has an attorney general.
Just give me one specific, just one.
Okay. He had his Secretary of State on his behalf has tried to play games with the word torture.
Okay, we're not talking about playing games with the word torture. You said the president himself specifically has condoned torture. I'm just asking you to give me one example.
Well, of course he has. He sends his Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, over to Europe
torturing people?
To make the case. No, she made the case for torture.
You're saying that there's a difference between making a case, which you're alleging.
You asked me a question. I'm trying to answer your question.
But you're not answering it. You're saying she made a case for torture being considered, and you're saying that he has specifically said people should be tortured. There's a big difference between that.
No, well, excuse me, and what he has done and what his Secretary of State has tried to justify, we have kidnapped people and rendered them to secret prisons in other nations and tortured these places where these people are going to be tortured. We know that has occurred.
The investigation into that, as I'm sure you're well aware of, did not prove that. In fact, they said they could not find that. That was the European investigation.
What about the German citizen who, because of mistaken identification, was kidnapped and rendered to a prison where he was tortured? And Condoleezza Rice apologized. She said it was a case of mistaken identity. But we know this is going on in this country, and you folks are the ones who are helping mislead the American people into thinking everything is just terrific. You're the ones who helped sell this war to the people. Oh, now you want to interrupt me.
Let's go back to the situation of tomorrow, President Bush in your town, and you're the representative of Salt Lake City. And so many folks from Utah have been emailing us saying, please, Mr. Mayor, quit embarrassing the state of Utah. How do you respond?
Well, we've got a lot. We have a lot of people who are also thinking that maybe Utah should be embarrassed by its high approval ratings of this disastrous president. You know, we were lied into this war, much with the help of you folks, the mainstream media in this country. We still have people in this country who believe, 50% of them, according to the last Harris poll, who believe that we found weapons of mass destruction because of this incredible.
And that can be talked about, but as the mayor of a city, and isn't one of your jobs is to welcome the President of the United States? Yeah, you can protest all you want later on, but
my job is not just to be a doormat. You know, I wish you people would understand what Theodore Roosevelt so clearly understood when he said that to stand behind a president, right or wrong, is not only servile and unpatriotic, but it is immoral. something that our country...
Our time with you is finished, but I'll tell you this. We didn't lie to anybody. And in fact, the president's, beliefs that he had were backed up by the French, by the Germans, by the Israelis, and everyone else. Rocky Anderson, Mayor of Salt Lake City.